What's going on, guys? It's Dolby and welcome back to episode 2 of the MRC Championship highlights. So today we are here in France, hoping for a decent race. France isn't personally my favourite. I don't really enjoy it. The track's just a bit doesn't cause great racing, but hopefully, we could come out with some kind of result, maybe sneak our way into the podium. That'd be pretty nice, but we're here in qualifying now. We got a short qualifying because we did do a full qualifying. We had to restart for some issues, and we all decided we might as well just do short qualifying because we got to Q2 and doing another full qualifying would just be even longer. So that is that. Now, I did have no game sound for the whole of qualifying, get it back in the race, so that was alright, but it was a little bit annoying because no game sound is not exactly what you want. I definitely felt like it compromised me a little bit. I'm not saying it was the reason I didn't get pole in qualifying. I'll tell you now I don't. But I feel like I could have gone maybe a little bit quicker. But just obviously the use of sound and when to gear up is quite helpful. So that is that pretty much. So this is our first flying lap of the session. It was an amazing small luck up there as we head onto the main straight. We come across the line. It was a 31.0. Now I felt like I could have gone quicker. It was just about stringing that lap time together, and it was something that I'm just struggling at the moment, making sure I don't make a mistake. I always seem to make one or two. As we come to the second lap, you can see we're a tenth and a half up, so I was like, okay, that's pretty decent. Maybe we can find more time across the rest of the lap, and I was pretty confident. You can see as we come towards the final sector, we were 2 tenths up, so that would have been like a 30.8, which would have been decent, but unfortunately I lose all the time on that corner, and then we were only half a tenth up, so a little bit disappointing there. We then regained a little bit of time, but then going into the last corner, too deep, and then I mess up again, so it wasn't going brilliantly. So we crossed the line. We literally only just improved, and it was just a little bit annoying because you can see in a second MRC Stygian a 30.5. We're 5 tenths off that pretty much. I can't really see us getting near it, unfortunately. And then as we come on to the final lap of our qualifying session, we got to just throw everything at it at this point. We might as well just go for it. As we head into turn 1, brake a little bit late, which does compromise our run into turn 2. So already we're a little bit down. It wasn't great. We're gaining time because we got a better exit. Unfortunately, you can see here we just cut the curb a little bit too much, and unfortunately our lap time is invalidated as all the sound has now come back. But you can see in the end we do get P4 still. Top 3 separated by 0.018, so fucking close. The top 2 separated by 0.002, so unfortunately we just couldn't get a decent lap together. Even if I felt like I got a decent lap together, I don't feel like I would have been up there. Now, it was raining for the race, so that's going to make the strategy pretty simple, but as you can see it is meant to dry out towards the end, so that could come into play definitely. So here we are on the grid, 5 red lights out, and away we go. We get a alright start, could have been better. We've got some pressure from the cars behind, but unfortunately we just haven't got a good enough start to really look to jump anyone. We're going to take the long way around. We go a little bit deep. Obviously this is my first laps in the wet. You're always going to be a little bit skeptical at the beginning, but so far it was looking alright. We've dropped a little bit back, but I wasn't too worried about that because the front 3 should start battling as we go a little bit deep there again. It's the first time we're approaching some of these corners in the wet. For me, this was the first wet race I'd ever done in France, so I was kind of just having to get to grips with it, and get to grips with it pretty quickly, because if I didn't, I was going to start falling back. But luckily I felt like the pace was pretty decent. In the wet it wasn't amazing, but it got there as we got into lap 2. As you can see, the front 3 definitely the front 2 pulled away a little bit, and then the car in front of us, Ferrari, is spun out and he's in a wall, so that more than likely be some front wing damage for him. And then there is a virtual safety car, so time to regain some fuel, get some ERS, but that's an easy promotion into P3, so I was not complaining at all with that. just make sure we stay inside our delta, don't get any kind of penalties. So yeah, the front two kind of disappeared a little bit, which isn't obviously ideal, but kind of confident we could eventually catch up with them, maybe. They kind of just kept strapping at it, because yeah, like I said, the pace in the wet I felt was alright. It wasn't anything amazing, but I definitely had the pace for like staying in contention with the top three, I feel like. And as you can see, as we come on to lap 3 now, coming through the fast right-hander, pretty smooth through there. You can see the front two, they're kind of around the same distance apart from a lap. Maybe we've even caught up just a little bit. So you can see as we come through into this left-hand, it's quite a tricky one. I go to downshift and I just lose it. You can see the car ahead, the McLaren. The McLaren spun. I lost it in the corner, which made it very awkward. I tried to save it. Unfortunately, it didn't quite happen. I got front wing damage. The car behind me obviously then got front wing damage, and I'm pretty sure so did the McLaren. So all three of us are just rushing towards the pit lane. We managed to overtake the Ferrari just before. That was pretty crucial. So yeah, as we come into the pit lane, first place has disappeared because the front four kind of disappeared from fifth backwards. There was quite a big gap between first to fourth and then fifth backwards. So you know, that's pretty much, if you started 5th or below, you're now 2nd. So it gave some of the people who started near the back a real good opportunity to win. We do an 8.3 pit stop. It wasn't amazing, but it will do. You can see the Ferrari right behind us there. The McLaren is still, I think he was still in the pit lane. We're going to come out in P11. No, P12, as there was a McLaren who's just gone past now, who I believe was involved within a lap 1 incident. Apparently we got a warning for cutting the pit lane exit, but nothing to worry about really. So yeah, lap 4, P12, we've definitely got some work to do, so it's going to get interesting. You see, as we cut onto lap 5 now, just a lap later, we've caught up with the McLaren ahead. So hopefully we can look to get an overtake done going onto the main straight. We get a decent exit out here, but it's all about getting a good run onto the back straight. So you need to really nail this corner here. What we do, we maybe go a little bit too wide, which will compromise us a little bit, but we're going to put it into overtake. Obviously no DRS in the wet, but we're tucking to the slipstream. It's going to be a close one. It's just going to be who can outbrake who. I lock up a little bit, but we go all the way around the outside. He squeezes me a little bit, leaves me just enough room. I then leave him plenty of room on the left hand side. Unfortunately, he's just going to stay ahead of us, but it's not going to get pretty going into this fast right-hander. I know I certainly wasn't going to back out. I don't know about him. We leave him just enough room there. I stay with it. We're still going. Oh, and he's lost it, and he's put me in a wall. Now, that one, it was definitely frustrating. I'll tell you that. It was definitely kind of annoying as I go to record it. If you see me do that, it's just because I'm recording the game clip in case I want to report it. I didn't report that because I was kind of just like, it's a racing incident. He's just kind of lost it on the exit, and it's just come across and kind of pushed me into the wall. Obviously, it has hurt my race, but I was near the back anyway, so at the time I wasn't that bothered. Looking back on it now, I reckon if that didn't happen, we could have maybe finished higher than I did. But you know, it is what it is, and then we stupidly get a penalty. I thought I'd be able to make it in the speed, but I didn't. So again, that's just a stupid 5-second penalty. They don't actually do it here for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know if you can't serve it in the same time. I'm not too sure, but so yeah, front wing change. I'm then taking the risk on the inters at this stage. So hopefully we can find some time up through pitting on the inters earlier than other people. So who knows, that could work. But yeah, it was just a little bit frustrating that. I personally don't think it was my fault. Yes, maybe I could have left him a little bit more room, but I mean, it's up for debate. But yeah, I'm not going to report that for now, because I mean, unless someone tells me I probably should, I'm not going to, because it's just a little racing incident in my opinion. So yeah, as we come on to lap 8, we've set the fastest lap of the race. We've gained some time through cars who are pitting now for the intermediate tyres. You can see we've come out right behind Stygian, who is then right behind a Toro Rosso. We get close and we maybe didn't leave him enough room, so he kind of cuts the corner, but it's not really the end of the world there. Obviously, hopefully we can pick these two off, or at least one of them soon, because Stygian is pretty quick. He qualified 3rd I would like to say he was the car that qualified third. Yes. So yeah, he was. So we can kind of shows us we've both not had a great start to this race. I'm not entirely sure. Oh yeah, no, he spun out on lap 2 and hit the same wall that I hit on lap 5. That's what happened to him. So the fact that we've pitted twice and then he's pitted twice and we're still roughly in the same contention meant I kind of had the same pace as him, so I was pretty happy with that overall. As you see, he's battling with a Toro Rosso in front, so maybe those two can look for a move into this corner up here like I did on the McLaren, and maybe it can end in a crash or something. We gain some positions, obviously don't wish for a crash, but it is too far behind as we come into the final sector. I don't really know when these corners are called, so just coming to a swooping right-hander. Obviously then this left corner here, which I find is pretty difficult, you can easily lose it. As you can see, I'm sideways a little bit, but as you can see the Toro Rosso ahead has messed up even more than I did, so Stygian gets past, we're going to get past, we're up into P10, so we're up into the points now, which, I mean, isn't too bad. Could have been a lot worse. I'm surprised we didn't really lose a tyre from the crash, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not really complaining about that. As we cut onto lap 12 now, you can see Stygian up ahead's made a mistake. He's gone very, very deep there, and that's going to be a free position for us. So we're now up into P8 as some cars have just pitted for the Inters eventually. So we've gained another free position. We're up into P8. So yeah, it's going pretty well at this point. You see, we cut onto lap 27 laps later. It's kind of getting dry, and unfortunately my teammate ahead of me, he pitted for the softs, unfortunately a little bit too early. I mean, it's not the end of the world, because when we pit we'll probably drop back behind him. So he's just let me through there, which was very, very nice of him, because honestly we're on completely different strategies. I personally still felt like the Inters were alright at this stage. Yes, the track was getting drier, but I finished lap 20, did lap 21, and then that's when we decided to come in. As you can see, we were right behind the Ferrari, and I was really, really fancying my chances. But if you remember, we had that silly 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding the pit lane, which really cost me here, because that could have been another position. As you can see at the moment, we're P4. At first I started screaming, saying why aren't they changing my tyres, and I remember that I had a penalty, which was a little bit annoying. So as we get going, we're going to come out in P6, which, to be honest, if we can keep P6, I'll be pretty happy with that, because it just means from dead at the end of lap 5 we were dead last, so to then get P6 I will be pretty happy with that overall. So 5 laps left to go in this race. I can tell you now, pretty much nothing happens. We just kind of keep hold of our position. We do catch with the Ferrari obviously a little bit, but it's nowhere near enough. You can see on the final lap I was going for the fastest lap. I was only like half a tenth off the fastest lap of the race until Stygian, who I think ended up finishing 9th, I think he got involved in another incident, I'm not entirely sure. But we'll see after he went wide, but I don't know what happened there. I don't think he had a great race, I don't think he was particularly happy. I think he might have pitted again for softs to get the fastest lap of the race, and it worked, because he then was like 5 tenths clear. Like, we nearly had it here, but then at the last moment he crosses the line, pretty much last, like as in one of the last people to cross the line, and he got fastest lap. You see, we did a 33.774, which I mean isn't bad. It's not a bad lap time. But yeah, P6, we only were half a tenth off 5th in the end, because he had a 3-second penalty. That was even more frustrating. My teammate got 4th, so 4th and 6th, very nice amount of points. So yeah, I really can't complain with that. You can see the fastest lap was a 33, where's Stygian? 33.224, which he did literally right at the end. Otherwise it was a 33.701, and we did a 33.744. So yeah, we were nearly there until Stygian was just like, fuck you all, and came along with it. But as you can see, here's the championship standings. We're currently joint 3rd. Only 3 points off 2nd place, and only 9 points off the lead. But the driver in the lead at the moment really can't do every race at the moment, because he's just got jobs. So yeah, 1st place is kind of just going to slowly come down. You see, he's only started one of the last 4 races, and he's been fucking quick for the rest of them. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.